Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is episode 13, Searching for the Light. I found Allah. My name is Raya Shokatad. I think by now you already know. The last episode, this is Sugar, by the way. I have another cat named Pepper. She's very sweet. Sugar is very sweet. You know, when I think about the past, so much comes in my mind, and I don't know how much of it to cover. I have tried to write a book. It is so overwhelming that I just stop. And even somebody has offered to translate it into Arabic, encourage me to write. I think really people would not be that interested in reading books nowadays. I think they're more interested to listen to podcasts or watch videos. That's why I decided to do these videos, but I am leaving so much. It's just so much behind. I'll cover whatever comes in my mind, because when I'm talking on the video, I don't remember everything. After I finished, I remember I didn't say this or that event that happened. Okay, so we went from Southern California, moved back north, back to our house. And that is another chapter. You know, I felt good to be back in my home, in the environment. I was close to nature. But I'm back into the same thing, although I made some connection with Muslims. I remember while I was in Los Angeles, I did go to some convention, Muslim convention, and it was really interesting. I saw some women wearing niqab, and I hadn't seen that probably most of my life. And I thought to myself, why are they so backward? Why are they covering their face? They're making Islam look bad. I mean, I had all kinds of negative thoughts about them, and I wish I could sit with all of them and bring them into the right path. Not realizing I'll be doing that years later myself. SubhanAllah, you can look at, when we judge people, when we're in a state of ignorance, most likely we don't judge correctly. We are to judge only according to Allah's way. Whatever is in the Quran and Sunnah, we judge that way. But other than that, we're not supposed to judge people, because whatever we judge, maybe we are not making the correct judgment. Anyhow, but I did make some contact. So as I go to Northern California, of course there are no cell phone. We just have these big telephones sitting in the corner of the kitchen. And then I made some calls. And the one lady, Pakistani lady, really impressed me. She was so kind, and she was kind of like taking me under her wings, and knew that I'm kind of lost. I want to be with the Muslim community. I don't want to really be in Los Angeles. She said, I will stay in contact with you. So when I went to Northern California, a few months later, it was summertime, she called me and she said, there's a Muslim camp in Santa Clara, which is near San Francisco. If you like, bring the kids with you and their families, parents, children, and they're really good speakers. Probably I suggest you come. She said, I'm going to go there myself. We can meet each other. Again, when I think about, so when we ask Allah for help, sometimes He sends us people, they open some doors, and we say, no, Allah, this is not what I meant. I have something else in mind. But when your heart, your mind is open, Allah sends you people that He has sent them to you for a reason. He has sent them to you for a reason. And if you reject it, that means you forgot the dua that you made asking Allah to help you. Anyhow, this lady, Pakistani lady, invited me to go to the camp. So I went to the camp, and I found they had many rooms, and they would put mothers and kids or families together. And I had my motorhome. I took my motorhome so I could stay in my own small home. And There, it was just like, for me, it was like a kid in the candy store. It was a beautiful nature. We had speakers, people are speaking, and there are programs for the kids. Didn't have to be with the kids. They had their own programs. It was just, I had never seen anything like this. It was, for me, it was literally fantastic. It was really good. So I really enjoyed it. And just there, so happened that I met an young Iranian husband and wife. They were newly married. I met them and I thought, oh, this is really good. Now I have some Iranian people. And by this time, I had not really connected to Iranians that are practicing. My relatives are, most of them, maybe 500 of them are in different parts of the United States, but they really don't practice. When I met them, I was really happy. They were really kind. They were really supportive. And I told them, oh, in another month, there's going to be Iranian Eid, congratulations. What are you going to do about it? They said, we don't celebrate Iranian Eid. I said, well, we celebrated all our lives. Iranian Eid is the first day of spring. We celebrate it for 13 days. And we would put out 7 items that start with sin, like Sib, Samanudi, things in Farsi start with sin, that we thought these 7 items bring us blessings, and then we put a live fish in the water. We had a certain kind of food, and the whole country is shut down for 13 days. For 13 days, people go see each other, family, relatives see each other, and it is a really a joyful time. And kids this time once a year get new clothes and new shoes. That's what's with us. New clothes once a year, new shoes once a year. Before that, if our shoes are torn, we have to go to the shoe repair person, repair it. This was the way of life. My school uniform, at the end of the year, is worn out. My mother would open up the seams and then reverse it and then sew it back up. It looked newer. So we didn't complain. This was a way of life. Anyhow, I told them, yeah, the Eid, we're gonna, we can get together and everything. They said, no. This is the Shia's version, and this is the origin of it is from a king called King Jamshid, which I've heard, very famous king. He said this king, he wanted people to worship him as God. He made the Eid, you call it Eid, or we call it Eid. We call it Eid or Eid. He made the Eid, and he made all these rituals, and it was supposed to be the time where people were supposed to worship him as God. And this was something like 5,000 years ago. This ritual continued until people forgot what the origin of this ritual is. They continued up until today. If you mention anything to anyone, don't celebrate, they'll probably shoot you. They told me this. I said, oh, really? I didn't know that. They said they're Sunnis. They have turned to Sunnah. They're not following Shia anymore. And then he gave me a book. It's not a very thick book. It's a booklet. It's called Up from Shiism. So, sister, please read this. I think you would want to know. Here, I don't know much about really Shia background. Actually, all I know was in Iran, we loved Ahl Bayt. We celebrated their birthdays. We cursed the Sahaba, which is especially Omar and Aisha. It was a norm. You will never find ever an Iranian calling their daughters Aisha. It's just impossible. They had just a lot of historical background that she was the enemy with Ali, and then Abu Bakr, Omar, Osman. No. And of course, I don't know the background. We just, whenever everybody hated, everybody loved. We did love Ahl Bayt, which is, I think, something Ahl Sunnah agree. Ahl Bayt means, it doesn't mean the Ahl Bayt that originally everybody says, well, family of the wives of the prophets were Ahl Bayt. According to Shia, the Ahl Bayt was Ali, Fatima, Hassan, and Hussein, and then progeny of Hussein, which turned out to be like 12 imams, that the Shias believe that they're the rightful successors after the Prophet, peace be upon him. So this is like no question about it. So they gave me this, and I said, thank you. I left them, And I stay in contact with them. Even at one point, they invited me from my house. It's like a 5-hour drive to go to their house for dinner. And I stayed in contact with them. I was really happy to connect with them. And I started reading the book, and it's, oh my God, just so much I don't know. But at this time, I have not built an identity. Am I a Shia or am I a Sunni? I'm happy to be a Muslim. I'm not getting into the historical facts. Who did what? Who should have been a Khalifa after the Prophet ﷺ? I didn't. It's like it was not of my interest. I wanted to know Allah. I wanted to know the Quran, and I also wanted to be connected with the Muslims. So that was really good that I went to that camp. Through that camp, that Pakistani sister told me that there's a school in Santa Clara, which is close to there, Islamic school, that if I want to bring the kids to school there, that's a very good idea. So the children should go to Islamic school. I said, well, yeah, that's a really good idea. I went home and I started thinking about that, and I thought, well, Santa Clara is a very expensive place. I don't have the funds to rent an apartment. I still don't want to give up my house. So I decided I put the kids in the motorhome, and we go check it out. So at that time, I also had 2 cats, the kids and the cats. My mother at that time was not with me, was still in Los Angeles. We went to Santa Clara. We parked outside the school and near a petrol station, and I went to school, talked with the principal, and I told her that, we just want to test out the school, see how it is. She said, okay. So I was really happy the kids can be with other kids, Muslim kids, and learn Islam and feel at home with the Muslims, and I'm with the Muslim parents, and if there's anything I could do in school to help, I could do that. And then when the brothers found out I'm staying with 2 kids in the motorhome, they said, bring the motorhome to the masjid ground. We will connect you with electricity, water, everything you need. We don't want you to stay outside. That's, not a good idea. They were very, very helpful. They really embraced me. It's like there's a mother with 2 kids coming from farther north and want to be near the rest of the Muslims. So I moved the motorhome into the masjid ground. It was a nice large masjid, and I was connected. Every morning before the masjid opened up, 6 a.m., I would have to take a container connected to the sewer of my motorhome and then carry the sewer all the way inside to the masjid and dump it in the toilets and then clean everything, bring it back. It was not an easy thing to do. And to also maintain a motorhome, everything has to be level. If it's not level, the refrigerator doesn't work. So living in a motorhome, it really takes a man. I learned to do whatever it takes because it gave me freedom. Motorhome gave me freedom. As I was attending the school, checking the teachers, I found the teachers, none of them are qualified teachers. The school is fairly new. They just took, the moms and whoever Muslim sisters wanted to participate being a teacher. They were teachers. Their style of teaching was not good. It was not organized. The one brother that was teaching Arabic, he was taking a ruler and hitting the kids with the ruler if they didn't recite properly. And I told him, if you touch my kids, you're going to be out of here. Don't ever touch my kids. And I told him it's not a good idea to hit the kids. This guy comes from somewhere in the Middle East. I don't remember from where. They don't have the principle of bringing kids to Islam in a right, and there are many places, even in Malaysia, just even recently when my friend wanted to take her 2 kids to Islamic school, one of our first criteria was to check out and see how they deal with the kids. And many of the schools, they still hit the kids. This is why our ummah has become into trouble. They grow up with harshness. Who they become? Do you think they become soft and compassionate? Anyway, when it was prayer time, all the kids, had to stand, but the teacher keeps screaming, line up, stand on straight, and he's screaming at them. I went and bought some masking tape from the store. I put the masking tape on the floor, the carpet. I said, this is so easy. Just tell them stand behind the line. Don't scream at them. I was there 2 months, and then I realized that if my kids go to this school any longer, they're going to actually grow up hating Islam. This is what's going to happen. And the other thing is, the kids were so misbehaved, and the parents expected the teachers to discipline the kids. I told the principal, I said, the parents need actually training. Parents are the one needs the training. They let the kids do whatever they want at home. They want the kids to come and be disciplined. It doesn't work that way. Discipline starts from the home. I was going to offer a class for the parents, actually parenting class. I started listening to audios, and there is no internet. I still don't have mobile. Reading books and trying to find ways of training the kids how to training the parents how to train their kids. It was just boiling in my heart how badly the kids behaved. Really, it was incredible. So if you're parents listening to this, whether mother or father, as much time you spend away from giving love, attention, affection, training, teaching to your kids, and your time goes into work, going somewhere else, into study, somebody else, a grandma or a school or somebody else, training your kids, you basically training, sorry I have to say that, training losers for the society. Miracles don't happen that the kids don't have the mother training them, and then they grow up whatever they want. And around the world we have the highest drug abuse. The start of it is with teenagers, and sadly Muslim country is all over the place like this. Anyhow, I decided after 2 months I'm going to leave. I moved back to my home. And I thought, if my kids grow up in nature, and I taught them myself, whatever I knew, I was very unqualified. Whatever I could teach them, it would be better for them. They would be better human being than being in a school like this. Of course, this is in the 80s, late 80s, and maybe early 90s. Of course, now all over United States, all over the world, there are fantastic Islamic schools, really qualified teachers, fantastic programs, really good everything. Now I'm talking about my time, my situation. And then I decided to make another major decision, really major decision. This is a home that I owned. I'm making payment on it. I love it. It's close to nature. It's still in the city, but I could kind of walk and go, away to find some nature. It seems like the kids like it. Their dad was near us. He would come and see the kids, once or twice a month. And it seems like life settled down. I'm comfortable. Then something else happened, and my mind started boiling, and I had to make the next decision. Inshallah, next episode, I will tell you more exciting parts of my life. Thanks for listening. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.